Oh, hello everyone. Welcome back to the first Nintendo at Night here on the brand new Backlog Banter channel. This, of course, is our what span of time would you say we do this per?
I would call it biannual.
If that's stretching.
I would call it arguably annual.
The arguably annual series where we get comfy and we talk about Nintendo in sort of a late night setting. Of course, we're not in a bed today because my bed's not big enough for the two of us. Literally.
I protested that.
It's literally not big enough for the two of us. So we're on a couch. We bought Nintendo shirts for this specific use. We've got hot cocoa. I've got tea. We've got blankets. And we're going to be sharing our memories and our community's memories about Nintendo Directs, something that we have a lot of experience with. We've been watching them for a long time, and as many of our community members have as well. And what we like to do on this show is just sort of reminisce about Nintendo, because it's something we've got a lot of memories with. And frankly, Nintendo Directs are a big part of that for me, for multiple reasons that we'll get into. I've got a number of memories written down myself, and we got plenty of submissions from our community members.
A question for you, Tucker, so we're getting started. What's the name of this show?
Nintendo at Night. Yeah, I said that.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, I didn't know I did. Because it was our blank annual show. I said, what's the period of time?
We'll see. The tape will prove me right.
We have video footage of one of us being right. And welcome to Nintendo at Night. How you feeling? You sleepy?
I
hope.
What's interesting?
Good thing for the show.
What's interesting with this episode, Tucker, is I actually am sleepy.
Yeah.
I actually am. And
you were getting tired when we were watching about an hour's worth of directs.
Yeah, we were just watching directs. We were chilling out. Tanner was raging at Street Fighter.
He was. We were getting real mad.
Yeah, it's the last night here. We're just we're taking it easy. Last night we took it hard.
But
yeah, I think this is a really fun topic.
Yeah.
Because as we were sort of thinking about, when we were sort of just scrubbing back through old directs, we were looking at the early 2020 mini direct.
Yeah.
And that's one of the first videos we ever made was about that.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah.
And so, and there's no doubt that, directs are one of the I was remarking to Ben Hayho.
Yeah. Friend of the show.
Yes.
Literally, yeah.
Literally, yeah. Literally, very good friend of mine.
Sometimes we say that as a joke, sometimes we don't.
Yes,
Hard to tell.
Yes. I was remarking to him when the last direct happened that, like, I'm old, I'm grizzled, I'm jaded.
God forbid.
I don't get excited for my birthday anymore. I don't get excited for Christmas.
Sure.
It's not important. They're fun. They're wonderful holidays, right? Yeah. But nothing makes me feel like a young child on Christmas again, like a Nintendo Direct Day.
Yeah.
I genuinely still have trouble going to bed before a Direct Night.
Yeah.
I wake up early the Direct Day.
God.
And as I was saying to Ben, a very important part of the Direct experience for me is watching them with you.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been a single Direct since 2020 that we haven't watched together.
Sure.
That might be untrue, but
no, it sounds right. I
think we've done every single one together.
Yeah, and it's an interesting thing that I know, like I can feel it deep inside me, and there's proof that I really care about Nintendo Directs, and they're very personally important to me, and as we're going to get into, lots of memories. The easiest way to tell is that I can, as I proved with you earlier, click on a Nintendo Direct from any time in the last 7 years and tell you which major announcements happened, in which order, which other trailers of previously announced games, which songs were playing in certain trailers, what the order of some of the trailers were. Yeah. Like, this is such a granularly specific thing for me that really resonates with me. And I hope through this discussion of the ones that stick with me, the things that stick with other people, maybe to try to figure out why. Because it's not something I can really pin down why it's so important to me. A big part of me and why I remember these directs so clearly is because I like to watch other people react, which is why I advocate for recording reactions. Yeah. Because one of my biggest attachments to Nintendo and gaming community was during the Smash 4 era. Yeah. Watching people react to Smash announcements, Smash reveals, which were not always in directs during Smash 4 era. They actually have a lot of like weird things, like Robin and Lucina and also Captain Falcon were just revealed on a random day. Like, they're like, hey, we're going to upload a trailer.
I mean, it's funny you say that because, like, if you think back to Brawl, obviously none of us were following Brawl, but, like, one day you would have just opened up the website and Sonic was there. Can you fucking imagine that?
I absolutely cannot.
Yeah.
And I can't even imagine the thing of, like, oh, hey, there's going to be a Smash trailer just, like, dropped on the website in a couple hours. Because Nintendo Directs are so ingrained into the way that I engage with video game culture. Obviously, primarily Nintendo culture, but my introduction to learning about the thoughts of other people and what excited other people was watching other Nintendo Direct reactions. And it's part of the reason why I was able to gauge, or how I was able to gauge how I was able to gauge what was important or not. Yeah. Because at the time that I was getting into watching Directs, it was mid 2015, early 2016, and I had limited experience with most game series. I've gone on record multiple times by sharing that the Switch got me into 70% of Nintendo series. Before that, Smash, Pokemon, and playing Mario Kart occasionally was really my experience. But watching Directs that other people reacted to and be like, oh my god, Shin Megami Tensei, Xenoblade, Fire Emblem, Yoshi, these games I had no experience with, people being excited about them, watching those over and over and over, and seeing Etika and Easy Allies and Kinda Funny and Maximilian Dude and all these people watch these trailers, it ingrained them into my mind. And so when you say E3 early 2019, or if Nintendo Direct early 2019, I can go boom, 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 this, because I consume them on such a like personal level. I'm like, I want to see what excites people and then try to relive that excitement by rewatching Nintendo Directs, but also because watching them the first time is just such a exciting experience to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because we've made many more sort of analytical videos talking about our differences and opinion about Directs. And why I'm excited to do this is I can sort of like shed that part of my brain, because there is still that part of my brain. I was speaking to some people about this recently, actually, of like, if you're a smaller game, do you even want to be a Nintendo Direct? Would you rather be an indie Direct? Because you're just gonna get overshadowed, right? Yeah. And when I sit down and think about it, sometimes I still do think, maybe the Direct format does have issues. Yeah. But that's not what we're here to do today. No. Because
we're not here to be analytical. No. We're here to be reflective.
Because for all of my analytical...
Memorable.
Yeah. Yeah. For all of my sort of questions about the Direct format as a whole, as I said before, and as you're saying, they're a critical part of community building. Yeah. And that's what I really like.
1,000%. So, if not the core part of Nintendo's audience, at least in the last decade.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever rewatched a Direct. Sure. Because I've had no real desire to. Sure. But there are no doubt particular reactions that I always go for. Sure. I mean, when a Direct happens, I always go and see what Josh Thomas has to say. Yeah. I always go back and scroll through his reaction. Mm-hmm. But then there's also key reactions I always revisit. Whenever it needs like a little hit of energy, I go watch Arlo react to Metroid Dread.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
There honestly aren't too many like that I revisit. Sure. But like, frankly, it's anything Metroid related from Arlo that I'll rewatch. And I really like Josh's reaction to Mario Wonder.
Yeah. But, sure.
I find, for the most part, it's not something I want to revisit, but something I love being there for the moment of. Sure. It's like I've got a lot of clips in my phone's camera roll of concerts I've been to.
Mm-hmm. Never rewatch them.
Never rewatch them because it's for me it's there. It's that moment. It's more than just the show. It's the people I'm watching it with. Yeah. It's the fact that I cringe watching myself react to things again in hindsight. Yeah. But to me, it's all about that. It's that moment, that experience, and that's why even though I liked rewatching the Directs with you, I felt like I didn't need to, because you asked me like, am I ready for the discussion? I'm like, well, yeah, because to me, there are these moments that stick in my mind, and a lot of them actually aren't even necessarily because of the game in question. Sure. A lot of it's other factors that I want to talk about.
That is a obviously very different way than the way I revisit these and appreciate them. And I think, to be 100% frank, it's maybe because I have a hard time living in the moment. I find myself overthinking things, wondering if I'm feeling the right way when things are happening. There are a number of Nintendo Direct reactions, primarily on our old channel, because we haven't had that many since we started the new channel, where something is revealed and I'm kind of like being a shithead about it. and I'm like, this isn't exciting. I'm just sitting there being a jackass. And you're like, oh no, this is cool. Or it's the other way around, and I'm being excited for something. You're like, oh, the direct format really brings me down. Blah, 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 blah. And it's that overthinking that means that I am experiencing the moment, but I'm also thinking about the moment. It kind of creates a weird cycle. But I'm able to sort of shed that analytical barrier by going back and watching my raw reactions to things, other people's raw reactions to things. I just want to quickly mention some of the ones that I revisit. Lots of Etika reactions, especially Smash ones. There are some of those that I can like quote because I've seen them so many times. I remember the inflection that he has. Easy Allies reacting to the Super Mario Odyssey trailer. Roger's Base reacting to the Breath of the Wild trailer. So many of these moments, you can tell how much they mean to people, and people, or in some of the crazy lengths they go to, you could say like the characterization of them. Etika getting crazy reacting to something, Roger's Base crazy reacting to something. You might say, hey, look, they're playing it up. This is cringe. It's a bit. But to me, that raw emotion is like the nugget of why video games and for me, video game reactions are so like viscerally important. And I still get chills watching people watch the Breath of the Wild trailer or hearing the first few musical cues of a trailer that is not only important to me, but was important to other people. And now looking back, we can see the impact some of those games had. And it's because Nintendo Directs, I think, are paced and edited in a way that works really well for that kind of reflection and emotional in the moment reaction, which is, hey, what this here discussion is for. Talking about those moments.
Yeah, I wanna think further back than the Switch era.
Okay.
Because we talked about this briefly together, like the first Direct I remember watching.
Yeah.
And I can't pinpoint exactly which one it is. I'm pretty sure it was the spring 2015 one.
Okay.
Just because when E3 2014 came around, I wasn't really watching Directs, but I was just sort of getting the news.
Yeah.
Like seeing it on social media, or little clips on YouTube or whatever. Because I used to get my news basically solely from either Nintendo Power or going on like GameSpot.
Huh.
And then there's a period of time when Nintendo Power disappeared, and I was just getting news from like social media and everything.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking, and because 2014, E3 2014 had like Splatoon and various things, thinking to myself, man, I really want to be watching these shows now.
Yeah.
And so from 2015 on, I've been watching them.
Yeah. What's interesting is we visited that Direct again, and we were talking about how in that Direct, I actually think we should kind of talk about that Direct in specific.
Which one? E3 2015?
Yeah, the E3 2015 one. That was very important to you as the first one you remember. And tangentially, it's the first one I remember because you and I were watching it, and we saw that Yoshi's Woolly World was shows up there. I'm like, hold on. Is there someone with, like, a bunch of yarn balls, like, in a workshop here? Because I had, like, a latent back-of-the-head memory of... I think that is my first memory of Nintendo Direct. I can't be 100% certain about that. I have more specific memories that we'll get into, but that one in particular, I think might be both of our first memory, but I don't remember so much of it that I'm like, maybe. Yeah. Let's put that in the maybe category.
I think that Direct's really interesting, because you said something before about the Directs really being about community.
Yeah.
To me, why I really loved the Directs prior to the Switch era... I mean, frankly, I think probably most precisely prior to, like, the prevalence of the headline format.
Sure. Which started late, the first year of Switch. It was, like, late 2017.
Was that immediately into the Switch era?
I think it was, like, I think that was a September 2017 Direct.
Okay, so we got one Direct, Switch era Direct without headlines then, probably.
E3.
Yeah, okay. And even the E3 one's pretty straight-laced, but as we were revisiting... Directs used to be fucking loony.
They were insane.
There was
skits constantly.
There was crazy shit happening.
Lots of random people that we don't even remember showing up and just talking for minutes on end.
Yeah, and I mean the pros and cons of that shift is something to discuss. I think at a different time. But for me,
that's too analytical for time.
Yeah, for me, what I always loved was how those Wii U era Directs made Nintendo feel like it's the teams and the people within the company were so much more than just the same couple figureheads we now get.
Sure.
All of whom I love. But seeing people from Nintendo Treehouse and Damon Baker over at the head of Indies and Bill Trinan being a regular presenter alongside Reggie and Iwata and everyone who was sort of showing up, and the fact that the skits were often cringe and sort of goofy, I really liked. I think it was. You can say maybe not a great thing for pacing or whatever, but for making the directs about more than just the games,
sure,
I think that was really great, and that's a spirit that I actually found a little bit of in the most recent direct, as we have been mentioning in our discussion when we have like Koizumi dancing around.
Oh
with the
with WarioWare, he did a little bit of that, barely.
Obviously not the same sort of level of pre-production skits, and E3 2015 is obviously probably the most classic example of that with the Star Fox
I'm just trying to think of a few moments post-Switch that recapture some of that energy. There's the moment where Koizumi introduces Doug Bowser, and Bowser shows up, and they have a conversation about his name being Bowser and Bowser's name being Bowser, and that is... Obviously, there's a lot of CGI there, so it's heavily pre-produced and it's very scripted. Cool. But there are very few moments of that. Yeah. And I do really appreciate, looking back, the looniness and sort of carefree nature of those early directs, which have, over time, become sterile, because not only because the leadership has changed, but also because expectations of what a direct can be has changed. Because guess what? Everyone does directs now. Yeah. It's not just Nintendo controlling the message because they're the only one brave enough to not go to E3. That's how we expect them to be delivered. And losing that, I think, is just a general homogenization. Like, this is kind of the default way you expect it now. I was about to say they happen more frequently, but that's not even true. No. They're happening very frequently, like
they're probably less frequent now than they used to be.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, no, I love those weird things. And the one element that you and I were searching for is a moment at E3 2012, one of the very earliest digital showcases, period, where Iwata is holding a bunch of bananas. Yeah. And we watched through it, we skimmed, and we couldn't find the moment. We must have just skipped it somehow. Yeah. And then we were looking, why isn't Iwata holding bananas? There's this iconic image that, if I remember, I'll cut in here, of Iwata just holding
Everybody knows
bananas. And we can't figure out why. We found the clip. Someone just uploaded a 9-second clip of him holding bananas and then putting them on the ground and then just standing there. But that is a moment of a single moment of irreverence that is very, very special. And Nintendo Direct really cultivated that because they allowed for just experimentation in those early days.
Yeah, you used the word sterile before for new directs. I wouldn't necessarily use that word. Sure. Also, because I think that it's, in some ways, they are definitely sterile compared to what they used to be. But I think it's more that they just sort of kind of realized what, on the practical level, directs
Of course, yeah.
And also, I mean, frankly, a lot of the people that were making those old direct specials are just not with the company anymore. True. Even a lot of the Treehouse people, like Samantha, who would show up, she's not with Nintendo anymore. Yeah. So you're right. It's a change.
Does Treehouse exist still?
Treehouse does still exist, yeah.
In what capacity?
Well, because...
Genuine question. I just haven't thought about that. Last time I remember hearing about Nintendo Treehouse was 2018, E3 2018?
Well, the thing about Treehouse... No, well, because remember, there was Treehouse after that. I think it was in 2020, because it's when they announced WayForward's Bakugan game.
That's true. Damn.
But what I think what you're forgetting is that Treehouse Live is one thing, but what Nintendo Treehouse is just their localization team.
Oh, is it true?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
So they're localizing all Nintendo's games. Okay. It's just that the sort of Treehouse Live segment is not...
You're right, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, as prominent as it used to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think that now directs have a methodology that works, and it's just a different methodology.
Yeah, that's definitely true, and it also has produced all of my direct memories. We talk about the sketches, which, if you want to point out some of your favorite ones, or favorite moments there, that are definitely funny, and I've mostly experienced retroactively through memes and meme compilations, and Donkey including them in his E3 season videos. But I never really experienced them first-handedly. Yeah. So even with the more strict nature of Switch era directs, all of my direct memories come from that era.
Yeah.
So, and I would put forth that I'm like, I still love those the new era. It's just a very different flavor as you were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just run through some of the pre-Switch ones.
Yeah.
My favorite
is...
is...
I don't any pre-Switch submissions, actually. I didn't really check.
Yeah, you pull that up while I share my first one, which is... and I mentioned it by name before. It's the Star Fox Puppets at E3, which was a level of production value that was just amazing.
Yeah.
As I was saying to you, E3 2015 is interesting because Nintendo just kept announcing game after game after game after game, and almost all of them are bad. But the actual showcase was so much fun because there was just minutes of
so many bad games there.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
But it was just like, it was minutes of having Miyamoto, Reggie, and Iwata puppets.
Yeah.
Dancing around, and then the Star Fox puppets show up. That was a level. What's interesting is the production value was E3 level. The games maybe weren't.
Yeah.
But the actual...
it had to be because that was the games they had.
Right. But the actual effort they went to in the production value was amazing. Another classic one, of course, is the reveal of the Mii fighter in Smash 4, which I totally love. And then another one that
a great moment.
I had forgotten about until we were looking today, which I love, was the Micro Direct. What's funny about the Micro Direct, for people who haven't seen it, this was a memory that I just had left my mind until we mucked it back up today. It's built for in micro size on a desk to talk about Chibi Robo and Pikmin.
Yeah.
And
tiny fighters. What was the thing?
Little Battlers Experience.
Yes, tiny fighters.
So those are a couple.
It's even funny that they were able to come up with mostly games that were themed around being small. That's hilarious.
It's this sort of versatility.
And it's also not short. It's like 28 minutes long. Like, that's a normal length showcase.
Yeah, it's this sort of versatility that I think has been replaced by like standard archetypes for directs now.
Yeah.
Whereas back then you could be like, yeah, we're doing a fucking small guy short king direct.
Yeah. Holy shit.
So I really like that. I see we have something here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This I think was the same direct, but our friend Murph here is talking about the sketch that was like Robot Chicken, where Reggie Puppet is on stage and a guy in the audience asks where Mother 3 is, and he eats a fire flower and then burns the guy to death.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's a crazy thing that happened.
Yeah, that's
They made that. They okayed that.
Yeah.
Nintendo today would not okay burning a fan to death at E3.
It's something, because I've talked about my interview with Kit and Krista before in the past.
Yeah.
But something that I was talking to Kit and Krista in the context of sort of their role in helping to market Splatoon, the first Splatoon on Wii U, and what they were saying, and I think what cultivated that sort of direct was like, they were in such a tough position, market position, that basically any idea was an idea that they were willing to try. And I think that's why we got such peculiar things during this time.
Yeah. Why don't we just randomly start with someone? Actually, not randomly. How about the first person who responded?
I think here's what we should do.
Oh.
I think we go community, we go Tucker, we go Abram, we go community, we go Tucker, we go Abram.
Sure. Yeah, if we can get enough of them, sure.
Yeah, until one of the three parties runs out of things to say.
Gives up.
Yeah.
This is a test of endurance.
I just want to note, by the way, it's kind of hard to tell, but Donkey Kong's ass cheeks are very...
Yeah, he's got a crack.
Yeah, his ass crack is right there.
Yeah.
Right
Defined
there.
back muscles, a little bit of banana smear, and crack.
Yeah, you get ass crack on this show. It's only $15 for Donkey Kong ass crack.
I could get it for $0 online.
You can see fucking Donkey Kong a hole online.
if you know the right places to look.
I'll share them.
Let's start with our friend Gravity, who mentions that there are... I'm quoting now. This is a quote. Easy ones for me.
No tuckaways here.
No, I didn't prepare that. Easy ones for me. I'll share 3. Number 1, the Smash Everyone Is Here reveal. Technically E3, but that was also still direct.
We'll allow it.
If we didn't count E3 presentations, that's a major chunk.
I'm gonna talk about one that's definitely not a direct, but I'm gonna talk about it anyways. Fuck you.
Who cares?
Yeah.
What other context are we talking about this in?
Yeah.
Number 2, the announcement that Rhythm Heaven Megamix was getting localized.
Sure.
Was even more hyped when they shadow dropped it during an E3 Treehouse. I didn't know about any of that. That's a whole set of memories I have no access to.
Yeah, I didn't remember the shadow dropping part at all. The localization was interesting because it was, I think, a pretty significant time after. Yeah. Because I think it was 2015 that it came to 3DS in Japan. And the game was in 2016.
Don't look at me.
2016 3DS release.
Did the microphone pick that up? Unclear.
It's your fault. You told me not to look.
Number 3, the Mario movie casting segment. That was comedy gold. Now, I think I just kind of want to focus in on that one because that was something that we wrote down as we were going through directs. That is one of the strangest moments, reaction-wise, for a Nintendo Direct because it was so peculiar to have happen in that way.
Yeah.
Casting rumors are so prevalent online. Casting rumors, casting calls. These people are in the mix for playing this character. I'm sure people were speculating on who could be what role.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, there was no leaks about that.
I don't think there were.
And so Chris Meledandri and Miyamoto coming out on, I believe actually there was a COVID wall between them. And they're standing there and they're like, here are the voices for the Mario cast. And it's Chris Pratt and Jack Black and Keegan-Michael Key and Anya Taylor-Joy and Seth Rogen. And we lost our shit and everyone online lost their shit and it felt like a meme. And now we've seen that movie. And they were all good at their jobs. And so us laughing at them was such a microcosm moment of some of the casting being good, some of them being like people like, oh my god, this is not going to go well. It's just so funny to look back on that. Like, it was just out of nowhere. Having casting in a Nintendo Direct is already weird. Having these characters that had mostly been played by, oh god, what's the guy's name?
Charles Martinet.
Charles Martinet. I'm sorry, Charles. I know you're watching. Characters have been played by him for decades at that point, getting A-tier Hollywood actors voicing them. Everything about that is just weird. It's so strange.
I mean, this it's funny because it's another reaction I revisit often, Arlo's.
Yeah.
Because his video is called like the hardest I've laughed in 10 years or whatever. Donkey also has a funny reaction to the casting list too. Because it just gets more and more insane.
Yeah.
Like, you think that Chris Pratt's the big one, and he is, but he had like Jack Black, Bowser, Seth Rogen, Donkey Kong, Fred Armisen is Crank, like
Keegan-Michael Key is Toad.
They got surprises for you all the way through that cast list. So
yeah.
That's a fun one.
Definitely. I guess it's my turn.
Yeah, your turn.
If I finished up Gravity's thing. The first one that I have written down, and this is the first Direct in the Switch era, technically. First presentation in the Direct era.
Yeah.
Jesus, that sentence didn't go well. The first presentation in the Switch era, which, of course, is a January 2017 Switch presentation, which is just chock full of all sorts of memories. But I also think that it is probably the last true remnants of the sketch era of Nintendo presentations. And primarily with where the show begins is Koizumi showing off the Joy-Con and doing a number of funny things.
Yeah.
Because there's there's the pre-planned, pre-scripted, edited element of it, which you were just doing a little mimic of when he drops the Joy-Con and Joy-Con straps exist and it dangles there for a second. But primarily for me is them having a couch on stage.
Love the couch
primarily bit. And actually exclusively for the bit of him saying, look, Joy-Con are separable and you can lay down on the couch and do this. And he does that for 4 seconds.
Yeah.
And then he stands up like nothing ever happened. And then he goes over and he talks about NFC and he talks about all this stuff pointing at the Joy-Con. We see the Link amiibo for the first time, the Champion Link.
Yeah.
And then it goes into that previs sort of CGI area where he gets cold because there's a blizzard and it's because the Joy-Con feel like there's ice cubes in them because HD Rumble is a thing. He does the drop with the Joy-Con straps. He does magic where he pulls like a tissue off of them and boom, it's not just gray Joy-Con, it's neon blue and neon red, and everything about that is just so weird. He does like rock paper scissors from the IR camera, which was used like 3 times in the entire history of the Switch. It is such a specifically crafted segment of that instantly makes you understand what the Switch is capable of, why the Joy-Con controllers are interesting, and does it with pizzazz. A really stupid kind of pizzazz, but really fun.
Yeah, that show is a lot of fun. I mean, that show also had the Super Mario Odyssey reveal.
Yeah.
Which was one of the most excited I've ever been for a game reveal. But what I remember most about that show is that it was live.
Yeah, it was definitely live.
And it was
you can tell very clearly in multiple ways.
From like when Suda goes off book and his translator like doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, he's like, you can see him sweating in the booth. He's like, oh, geez.
Yeah.
He's like 10 seconds from behind of what Suda's obviously saying. It's crazy.
But so it was live, and it was live from Japan.
Yeah.
And that's important because it was Thursday night, like 11 or 12 midnight.
Us. Yeah.
For me, and one of my best friends in high school was going to spend the night Friday, and we made a pact at school that we wouldn't watch the showcase until Friday, and we watched it together.
Oh. Did you do that?
No.
Oh, you lied.
I won how.
Sure. Okay.
Well, I had
Even being or not trustworthy.
No.
We're learning something here.
I had every intention. Jackson, I had every intention of sitting.
When was the last time you talked to him?
When Mandalorian came out. That's the last time I talked to him. Yeah, that's the last time I saw. That's the last time I saw him. But I had every intention of waiting, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
Because I had to see it.
Yeah.
And I remember just being in bed, just waiting and waiting and waiting. And then, you know what I remember? I remember turning on Kind of Funny. Mm-hmm. And I remember Colin Moriarty making a joke about Nintendo fans holding each other in their arms because it's such a bad show. And like making them, I was wagging my finger. I was like, Colin, you're gonna be proven wrong one day. And
he was very wrong about the Switch.
and that one day was 2 months later.
Yep. When the Switch launched.
Because the other interesting thing about that is like news kept trickling out like all day because that next day because. When I was in high school, I used to take frequent bathroom breaks to just kind of walk around.
Yeah.
I did this more during college as well, to be fair. I never stopped.
Sure.
But in high school, I'd go to the bathroom, the boys' bathroom, in the science center. Because you got good cell service in there.
In that bathroom?
Yeah.
Bizarre.
And I'd just go to My Nintendo News.
Yeah.
I'd scroll around. And I remember like finding out the Joy-Con prices and things that day.
Yeah. There was a lot of weird pacing of information that day because they showed off basically every first-party game for the year of 2017, which is still a legendary lineup.
Were there any that wasn't true?
I don't. Pokken, technically.
True. Mario Rabbids.
Yeah. But also, by technicality, and this is where I was going to go, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was shown in the sizzle reel. They showed a very minor clip. Or no. It was when they were showing off that there was 8-player local. You can like locally connect 8 Switches to play 8-player multiplayer, and they showed off Mario Kart on the Switch, and it was like, what's this? King Boo? What the fuck is this? And then that game was not officially announced until like 9 hours later or something. It was bizarre.
You're wrong. And this feeds into my memory, if I can segue.
Yeah. Okay.
That was shown off in the October video. I
think. The Switch reveal trailer.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I guess they were playing it in the back of that car when they slide the thing in. Actually, we got to start there. If we're talking like core high school Switch era memories.
That's what I'm bringing up. Yeah.
Holy shit! I remember sitting in my social studies class in the back. I was on one of those desks that's like built into a rolly chair, and there's like the plastic one that like swings out in front of you, and it's got a little basket underneath. And having my phone up on my school iPad and watching the guy get up, take his Switch out, take a dog out a walk, Splatoon gaming 1-2 Switch on the roof, new 3D Mario, and then showing that to everyone I saw in every one of my classes for the rest of the day. Because Nintendo had presented this, and I wanted everyone to know. And I felt like I am the Messiah here. I'm delivering the message of God. I'm going from door to door. Look what Nintendo just announced, scrubbing to the different parts. You can take off the controllers. Oh my god, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Skyrim is on Switch. Look at this. Holy shit. Wild.
Yeah, introducing Nintendo Switch. Because this was this...
hot. Jesus.
Oh, I'm so cozy right now.
Oh, I need an ice pack.
Because you gotta remember, 2016, we were down fucking horrendous.
Yeah. We were down bad.
We were down so bad in 2016. NX, that was NX era. That was ovular fucking, Jesus God, this is what this is going to look like era. And we were waiting. We were fucking... They were just stroking us so slowly. Just for so long.
You remember the Twitter picture of Mario, someone in a Mario costume peeking out from behind a
That's what I was getting to, exactly.
I'm on the gun here.
Because that was the night before.
Yeah.
They tweeted the picture. It's just Mario there's this fucking curtain the color of this wall. And he's pulling it back.
It's a gray curtain? That was a red curtain.
It's like a beige curtain.
Is it really?
I think. I could be wrong with that. But he's peeking out from behind this curtain. He's like, hey, we're showing off some shit tomorrow. I think that's what he said. And so you watched the social studies class. I had to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I had to wait for my last class of the day to be out. And then as soon as I was out, 2:45. Yeah. 2:45 my high school ended. 3 o'clock my sports practice began. So I had a small window of time. So I had to fucking jet down to the computer lab. I don't even know if I had because I don't know if I had my own laptop at the time. So I jet down to the computer lab, go to the computer lab, watch the video, first look at Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
I remember being so excited.
Yeah.
But it was also like kind of a moment of relief too. This is what was rumored. This is like the best case scenario.
Yeah.
It was the best case scenario. That's what the Switch is going to end up being, and that's what it was.
Yeah.
So that
in the trailer, yeah, they didn't lie.
So that was a special day.
The bringing it back to the 2017 presentation, because we're talking about showcases here. That was just a YouTube video, but I remember for weeks after the January 2017 presentation, because that's where they also announced the release date. Every day at lunch, showing my friends a different trailer from it, trying to get them excited. None of them were as hardcore Nintendo fans as I was, so I was really just being annoying to them and being like, I will have this thing in my hands in 2 months. In 2 months, March 3rd, I will have this in my hands. And I did, and I haven't been... Well, there hasn't been another Nintendo system launched since then, but the momentum and excitement leading up to that for me was infecting like my entire life.
Sure.
Like every time I talked to my friends, every time I watched YouTube videos, and that was because Nintendo did a really good job at pacing things out and announcing multiple games, and it's this presentation format that they do through directs and showcases, and now that has been splintered into indie presentations and partner showcases and direct minis that just captures me.
Yeah.
And makes me want to consistently talk about it. And that energy still carries to today whenever a Nintendo Direct is announced. Not only is there like a week or 2 weeks leading up to it that every day they might announce it soon. They might announce it soon. Jeff Grubb is saying something. This guy's saying something. The trailer leaked for something. Okay, Nintendo Direct might be happening. And then the day of a Direct, leading up to it, is just me watching Good Vibes Gaming and listening to predictions from everyone for hours and hours and hours. And then the day after a Direct, of course, reacting to it, editing the reactions, and then just maybe that all I do for the next 48 hours is watch reactions to it, watch discussions. What is this going to mean? What is this going to mean? Oh my god, that was so cool. Rewatching my own reactions. Rewatching reactions I'd already seen in like the last hour. I get obsessed, frankly. I get obsessed with Nintendo Directs.
I don't know what I was going to say.
Skip to another place.
Yeah. You said something and it triggered a memory, and you fucked me. Go to a community one. I'll think.
Sure.
I'll think. Okay. We'll bring the community in the conversation.
Community. Nishquick. Nishquick says their first favorite direct memory. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 announcement. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Wave 4 DLC teaser. That's a very specific thing to be excited about. Sequel to Breath of the Wild tease, E3 2019. Metroid Dread announcement, E3 2021. We'll talk about that one. And the Smash for Wii U and 3DS announcement at E3 2013.
Yeah.
Very interesting one. Can't remember, so?
No, it's gone. It's fucked. That's never coming back to me. It's never coming back to me. But those are good moments. I'm gonna jump off of what Nish Quick said for one that he didn't say.
Great.
Because Metroid, definitely want to talk about the Dread reveal.
Yeah.
But there's another Metroid reveal that I don't think gets the credit it deserves.
Okay.
And it's Nintendo's fault because they fucked it. And this was the reveal of Metroid Samus Returns.
Oh, that was a Treehouse reveal, right?
Yeah. It wasn't technically a direct reveal because that direct was only Switch software.
Yeah.
And that's clearly very deliberate to kind of be like, hey, we're looking to this new system. We're filling it out. But the first thing of Treehouse was Samus Returns. And I was so excited about that because I had my friend over and we were watching the show. And the Switch software, it looked good, but frankly, the most exciting stuff wasn't even like present in any material way. Oh, Pokemon is happening. Oh, Metroid is happening. Yeah. Well, okay, well, where is it? You know what I mean?
That's true.
Subway and Prime, but seeing Samus Returns, this tangible and Metroid's back, baby.
Yeah, that
was a lot of fun, and it goes back to what you were saying before about Treehouse. I wish we got more Treehouse still.
Yeah.
So it happens occasionally, but I wish we had more Treehouse.
Yeah.
Bring it back, Nintendo. Just keep rolling out Treehouse. I love Treehouse.
Yeah. Let's jump to one of mine, since you grabbed and ran with that. I think that actually, for me, staying on that 2017 E3 Direct, where Pokemon was announced for Switch, and Metroid Prime 4 had a teaser.
Yeah.
That Direct, I think, for me, is still one of the highlights of the Switch era because it was almost entirely first-party stuff, which made it feel like very little filler. You even think to even just the next 2 years of E3 presentations, they had some downtime. I mean, you and I were actually just watching the 2019 one where a section for Contra Rogue Core, and there was that fucking Jim Henson tactics game, Dark Crystal, and Empire of Sin, and like there's a lot of like D tier third party stuff. Sometimes fills out those directs, and for me, I come to them for the big third party announcements, but primarily first party stuff. And E3 2017 not only had a big focus on Xenoblade, which I was excited for at the time, and ended with the Super Mario Odyssey trailer that had Jump Up Superstar and showed off the capture mechanic for the first time. That's an iconic trailer, and I can definitely want to talk about it a little more. But the reason why I think that Direct specifically sticks with me is the momentum of going from Kirby Star Allies, the first HD 2D HD Kirby game, coming to Switch, and you're like, oh my god, we're getting more franchises coming pretty soon, into Pokemon, Metroid Prime 4, Yoshi's Crafted World. That was a back to back, all these franchises, variety of time scales, confirmation, logo, trailer, 2018, 2019, coming soon, and no room to breathe. And I think having them firing back to back like that really grabbed me. And it makes it stick in my mind. And then ending it with the Jump Up Superstar trailer, which I would say is one of my favorite video game trailers of all time.
It's a great trailer.
And that obviously also continued to sell me on that game. So I really love that E3 2017 presentation because of its just all killer, no filler nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember what I want to talk about.
Boom. Look at this guy. Because we're smartest tech in the West.
I want to talk about 2018.
Sure.
And I want to talk about a little image. A particular image.
Oh! The fucking Chibi Robo? Yeah. I was going to talk about that, yeah.
The Burning Chibi Robo is...
Still doesn't make sense.
The Burning Chibi Robo still is largely contextless.
Yeah.
Some people are like, oh, it's sort of like Solaire's pose, but if you believe that, you're this is a show about positivity. You have an imagination that outpaces reality.
Sure. Positive way to spin that.
I because here's the thing, we didn't have a January show that year.
Yeah.
And that was very irregular.
Because not counting the mini.
Well, the mini wasn't in January. I don't think.
Early February.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that something was afoot. We knew something was afoot. We didn't know what was afoot though. And the day before, I think it was the day before the show happened. They showed off the Burning Chibi Robo image. And I remember that it was leaking. This fucking show was leaking.
Yeah.
I don't remember if the games themselves were leaking, but the existence of it was. And I remember every morning in high school I had a study hall from 8 until 8:50. And I remember sitting in
Did you ever study?
No, almost never. Actually, that's not entirely true because I wouldn't really do my homework. I'd be like, I've got 15 minutes in the morning to sort out my homework.
Sure.
But on this morning, I was sitting in Miss Solomon's chemistry classroom It was a biology room. I don't remember. I was sitting. Miss Solomon was the proctor.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting. You remember those tables you'd have in high school where there's like the spigots, like the lab tables, and you turn on the water.
Oh,
and you'd
sure.
You'd fill up like a beaker or something.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't consider
like
that
a
a table.
mason
It's like
jar.
built into the wall. Like it's like part of the room.
Well, also
Tables like can be moved around.
Sure. It was a fixture of the room with a surface upon which you could work.
Sure.
And
Let's call it that.
Yeah.
For short.
I remember sitting there, for short. I remember sitting there and that image finally popping up after refreshing Twitter and Reddit and hunting down these little nuggets. That, boom, burning Chibi Robo.
What the fuck does this mean?
Why
did they post it?
Yeah, it was a compelling sort of moment of ARG almost.
Well, if the ARG doesn't lead to anything and it's just an image.
Right.
Yeah. But the community created a game around it.
There's really...
An unintentional ARG, some might say.
Yeah, I just don't think there's any better term for it because what... So that'll always just stick in my head.
Absolutely.
What was going on there?
Why? There's still no answer. Never been a Chibi Robo game since then.
Is Chibi Robo okay?
Not since Ziplash. Let me tell you.
Is Giga Robo around to help him out?
Giga Robo. That's a separate... Oh, he's a separate character. Yeah, I remember he's in the basement. I'm sorry, I didn't wake him up, but I saw him. I was like a pirate guy near him. Remember that.
Blankbeard.
Let's go back to some other shithead here. Okay. We've got our friend Adam Hurd talking about... Not a Nintendo Direct, but when Joker was announced for Smash at the Game Awards, I literally cheered. Also, Sephiroth for similar reasons. My favorite Nintendo Direct moment wasn't actually a game reveal, but I think back when they did the skits. I think it was the clip of Muppet Nintendo management dancing to the Superstar tune. This shit is why I tuned in every single time, not the announcements. Now, I wish I'd read this earlier because it tied very nicely into what we were talking about, but obviously, we talked about the sketches, about the charm of the puppets and all of that. But it's interesting that some Nintendo Direct energy has been able to leak into Jeff Keighley's stuff, and Nintendo does
leakage.
Nintendo does Summer Game Fest / Game Awards stuff so rarely, that it is a genuine shock when they do reveal something major. And I think that the 2 Smash reveals are obviously the biggest presence that they've ever had.
Cranky Kong.
They did Cranky Kong, and
well, to be fair, that is where they first showed off Breath of the Wild gameplay. Now, it was off-screen, which is such a peculiar thing. But there was a run of time there when they were bringing really big stuff to Jeff.
Yeah. And then they did... 2017 was Bayonetta 3. And Bayonetta 1 and 2 coming to Switch. And then after that, they haven't really done much. Except for the Smash ones. But those are 2 iconic for maybe very different reason reveals. But they definitely do capture that Nintendo Direct energy of totally out of nowhere. Both of them having a little bit of lead up in an interesting way, which I think the best Nintendo Direct stingers have. Something unexpected, something that ties into what they were doing before in a clever way. So yeah, those are great memories, Adam.
Yeah,
I give those memories a 9 out of 10.
The Sephiroth point is important.
I'm gonna be rating everyone's memories from here on out. You got to pass my quality assurance test.
The Sephiroth point's an important point to mention here, because famously I made a very tasteless but also very funny Mark Wahlberg 9/11 style reference to the fact that I would have fixed what is probably the most egregious video on the old channel, which is the Sephiroth reaction.
There's some pretty heinous shit on there.
Yeah, but none of it I find as personally offensive as Sephiroth.
Sure.
Because what was funny about Sephiroth is that I was with Jean and her family.
Yeah.
And I didn't have good enough Wi-Fi to stream the Game Awards.
Yeah.
So I was just refreshing Twitter for everything. And then Sephiroth popped up. And I remember freaking out.
Yeah.
And Sephiroth is still probably one of the DLC characters I've been most excited for all Smash Ultimate DLC.
Sure, impossible.
And then I remember finding out what you had done.
Oh, sure.
And
well, I mean, hey, it's not just me, frankly.
Yeah.
All 3 of us are not happy in that video.
Well, Timo and Tanner can't be held accountable for their actions.
Well, actually, that's actually very true because I wasn't excited.
Yeah.
They had no concept that it could be exciting.
Yeah.
Because I'm the only one who cared. There's this moment where Jeff says, everyone is here or something like that. And I'm like, oh, you know what that means? Oh my god! Yeah. And Tanner's like, oh, he's like trying to get excited. Tanner's never seen a Smash reveal in his life. Timo hadn't even played Ultimate. I don't even know.
Timo would only have been actually excited if they did us like a fucking locomotive or like a conductor.
Like a Russian serf.
Yeah, like a
like if Lenin was at
like if they added Vladimir. Frankly, if they added Vladimir Lenin to Smash Bros, I think that would probably be the most interesting character for the Fighters Pass.
Yeah, but no, I wasn't happy. How did you feel and how did you react to that? Finding out what I'd done.
I just remembered there's what are we gonna do? Something has to be done about this.
Not much was done. No, I got away with it. Pretty clean.
Actually, you didn't.
No,
because you got a shit ton of hate comments and you responded to all of them.
I did respond to every single one of them.
It's funny because the similar thing happened to me when I made my "Do Not Buy the Fire Emblem Binding Blade Frying Pan of Justice" video. And then I remember you guys telling me, like, you gotta go respond to the comments. And I just remember saying no. To this day,
you're a stronger man than I.
I just say I don't know what this comments say. I don't give a fuck.
We haven't made a video worthy of hate in a long time. I think we should get back on that.
We should try.
We'll get in the lab, craft something up.
Well, I'll tell you, it'll be the same situation now. I'm just not gonna. If you say whatever you want in the comments, I won't know. I want to tack on one other memory to the Chibi Robo thing. Sure. Because when the direct...
We're not really talking about that anymore, but you can.
Yeah, I'm going to. When the direct finally happened, it happened when I was in the back row. So this would have been 2018. This would have been... I think this would have been AP American History.
Sure.
So in the back row of class watching on mute. Yeah. With subtitles on. Just like... And I remember because Aces got announced. I was so excited for Mario Tennis Aces because my sister and I love Mario Tennis. Particularly for whatever reason, the N64 game. So I remember sitting there in class, like...
excited behind your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a couple moments like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was like buying Amiibo. Like I remember buying the 3-pack of Odyssey Amiibo in class and various things like that. Sure. That was also high school. Like if it was college, I just wouldn't, I just fucking skip.
Yeah, well, speaking of watching directs in class, that's actually only happened to me, from what I can remember,
I think one time for me.
Which was the direct when Terry was revealed, which was late 2019.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in some class in a big lecture hall, and no one around me I knew. Tanner might have been in that class. I can't really remember. And during that direct, obviously not paying attention to class at all. I think I might have had earbud going up my sleeve into my hand like that, like. Just trying to listen in, and nothing that direct particularly resonating with me. The reveal of Terry had been leaked to high heaven before that. Oh, we're getting a fucking Neo Geo character. Who else is it gonna be?
Metal Slug.
But I just remember watching that in class and taking notes of which elements of the direct appealed to me or not. And we went back, and it's a pretty bad direct. It had N64 online, which is pretty big deal.
SNES online.
Or SNES online. My bad. I can't believe we just said SNES. I think we should delete the channel. SNES. But yeah, I watched that one in class. So even though I don't like that direct very much, I at least have a specific memory with it. And I think that's just sort of a general thing about directs. And as it's obviously clear from the memories we're sharing here, the situation that I watch each direct in is very memorable to me. What are you doing?
I'm getting comfy.
Real comfy. Too comfy, some might say. Yeah.
Situation. Let's think about the situation with Brett Baer. The CNN reference for you. 2018.
Yeah.
We're talking about it.
Okay.
Smash Brothers is announced.
Holy shit.
Now, what's
yeah.
What's interesting about this direct is it happened when I was visiting my grandparents in Florida. And I was,
the March one, where Smash Ultimate was revealed? Okay.
And I was staying in my aunt's room at the time. And I was lying on her bed and the direct was happening. And I remember thinking it was kind of good, okay, good direct, whatever. And then the Smash Brothers thing happens. And first of all, I think that's probably the best trailer Nintendo's ever made.
Sure.
The Inkling's eye turning into the Smash Ball. I think it was all obvious to us by that point what it was, but the moment of it forming the Smash Balls.
Well, It's interesting. I don't know if I agree with that.
Sure.
Looking back and watching lots of reactions to that, which of course I have, there are plenty of people who are like, this could be Smash.
Sure.
But it also had not been that long since Smash 4. And that's, I think, the craziest thing about Ultimate is Smash games to that point had always come pretty late in the system's life, except for Melee. Obviously, Melee was very early. But Smash 4... No, actually, Smash 4 was not that late. Smash 4 was pretty mid-gen.
Two years in.
Just, actually almost exactly a year into the Switch's life cycle, Smash Ultimate was revealed. And especially because the DLC had only wrapped up not even a year prior to that.
Yeah.
I was not expecting it at all. But because of that, when the Octo expansion reveal finishes, because that's what precedes the Ultimate reveal, I turned off the Direct.
Yeah.
I closed it down. I was on a bus at the time. I was watching this on a school bus on the way home. And I was like, oh, it was fine. It was fine Direct. I mean, some cool third-party stuff that sticks out for me there. Crash Bandicoot, Okami. But I didn't watch it live. And then I was on either Discord or Instagram group chat that we must have been at that point in time. And people saying, oh, what'd you think of the Smash reveal? I'm like, you're fucking with me. Because that's the thing about every Direct. Where's Smash? When's Smash gonna happen? And I was like, that's not real. And so I did not see that. I don't have a genuine reaction to the Ultimate reveal because I didn't watch it. I got retroactively spoiled on it because I'm a dumbass and I didn't watch the whole fucking video.
My reaction was I was just there by myself and I was chewing gum. And I remember I was so awestruck.
Yeah.
My gum fell out of my mouth.
Sure, like a cartoon character.
Like a cartoon character.
Like that kid in The Incredibles with the gum that pops.
Yeah, that's a great reference. That's exactly how it was.
Yeah.
And then
what are you waiting for? Something. Did he say Incredible?
I don't remember.
Yeah. When was the last time you saw Incredibles?
2 weeks ago.
That's not true.
No, I'm lying. There was fear. I think there's fear in everyone's heart after the Smash reveal.
Yeah.
A sort of a primal fear. Because we didn't know if it was a port.
Yeah.
That was the interesting thing. There were clues early on that it wasn't a port.
Yeah.
Obviously, because we see Breath of the Wild Link.
Yeah.
And obviously, Inkling wasn't in Smash Wii U. Just that ugly Meek Fighter costume.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody knew for sure.
Yeah.
Nobody knew for sure.
No one knew.
And we had to wait 3 months until we learned that it wasn't a port.
Yeah, I remember talking quite a bit with my friends about what the game would be and having online conversations primarily about if it was going to be a port or not, and frankly if that mattered, which I think was interesting. But because that original trailer is so finely crafted and also holds back information in a very distinct and intentional way, not giving the game a name, they just say Super Smash Brothers 2018. That's it. It invited that kind of speculation, which may or may not have been good for the game. Doesn't matter in the long run. It's one of the best-selling games of all time.
Best game in the series.
Yeah, no one's complaining nowadays. But I like that marketing cycle of that game. That reveal is so good. The obfuscation of very obvious information that could have been revealed is a part of what made it so special to discuss. And I remember me and my friends, because of course we called Smash 4 Smaforsh, because you replace the A with the 4. We replaced both the S's in Smash with 5s, and we called them 5-ma-5-ha. That's not a joke. 5-ma-5-ha. And
that's awful.
And then
it's supposed to be a show about positivity, but that makes me uncomfortable.
5-ma-5-ha.
I hate that.
And then of course, E3 2018 rolls around.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, okay, this is kind of nice. You see Super Mario Party. You see Hollow Knight.
You see Fire Emblem Three Houses.
And then they're like, actually, we got a friend here who's going to show you something. And it's going to be 20 minutes of Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
With, you say the Inkling trailer, but frankly, I would say the Everyone Is Here trailer being one of the craziest video game moments in my life so far. Yeah. I was watching E3 with my friends. I was with a group of 6 people, which never happened for Nintendo Directs. But because Sakurai and the Smash team had said about 24 hours before, there's going to be big breakdown.
Yeah.
Of what this next game is.
There's a lot of people at big breakdowns watching the big breakdown.
yeah. But I was able to get a lot of people there, and Snake showing up, man. That's a pivotal moment in my life.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never cared about the everyone is here concept of Ultimate in the first place. Like, it never did anything for me. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, I'm super glad to have everyone back, but when you really think about it, it's like, yeah, man, I'm super glad the Pichu and Young Link are back.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, there's a couple huge characters that were returned, but then and now, it doesn't really move the needle for me. It's more, I remember watching Roger's base, like, freak out for everybody is here.
Yeah.
But for me, of course, it was Ridley, because we saw
Ridley.
We saw Ridley that day too, right?
Yeah. And there were 2 new characters revealed that day.
Who was the other one?
Daisy.
It's true. I mean, you're not lying to me.
Yeah, I'm not lying or dying.
But the Ridley trailer is what I was waiting for, brother, because like
he's too big.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Strike
him down, baby.
I had been a young man playing Brawl. I'd played Snake. I fucking loved the Ice Climbers. They're back. Cool, whatever. Who gives a shit? I got Ridley that day. I mean, that's what I always think back when I think about E3 2017. Being so excited. Now, that trailer gives the game away very early as to what character it is, I think. Like,
sure. Well,
because you see Ridley's like tail attack people pretty.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh well, it's okay. Goddamn, they're actually doing it.
Yeah.
But to me, that was the goddamn moment.
He kills Mega Man and Mario.
Kills Mega Man and Mario.
Yeah.
Just leaves other M. Samus walking around. Ridley shows up. I think Ridley's tagline was Ridley's cock and balls dragging across the field. So when I think back to E3 2018, I always think about that.
Yeah. I don't remember Ridley's cock and balls, but might have to rewatch the direct.
It's in the Metroid manga.
We've got another thing from Murph, who shares a memory of when they were announcing the Diablo 3 port, and the Peppy Direct announcer says, "The gates of hell have been opened."
Sure.
That's actually pretty funny. There's another one kind of similar to that we were actually just talking about earlier. Before we were recording. You guys weren't privy to this, but I'm going to let you in on a secret. We were talking about the direct in which Fall Guys was announced, and then Outer Wilds was announced, in which as he says, Peppy Direct announcer says, the end of the universe is in 22 minutes. And it's just like, or you have 22 minutes until the universe ends.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck is this? There are some really strange introductions to games like that. It's just like, what? I can't believe having the guy say this.
I'm going to talk about another one.
Sure.
Can I do that?
Yeah. Why don't we do one more community thing?
Okay.
Because we got quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, we're going to have to start trimming what people actually say, I think.
Most of these are short.
Yeah.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. Our friend Eric says, I remember dying of laughter when Byleth got announced for Smash Ultimate. Greatest Sakurai troll ever and his team... The greatest troll Sakurai and his team ever pulled, and fun character too. Now that reveal I have a very specific memory of.
Yeah.
Because it was teased the day before, Sakurai doing the little 3 thing, which of course means 16 or 17 somehow. I don't remember how, but somehow he's like it's 3 houses, but it's actually like the number 3, 7, the number of game of 3 houses is, and then that being one of the lamest fucking trailers of all time. And I remember watching it on the TV, sitting underneath Tanner's bed because we had the couch on that couch over there actually underneath Tanner's bunk in our dorm room, and him being like, "Who's this? What's going on?" I'm like, "Everyone is upset at this," and he's like, "I have no concept of what this could possibly mean."
I liked Byleth.
You liked the announcement too?
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Because it was finally not one of these fucking Tom, Dick, and Harrys from a
sure.
Although Fire Emblem is not a Nintendo game because that's made by Intelligent Systems.
It's like Kirby.
Truth.
Intelligent Systems.
Truth is the power.
Truth is power.
Metroid Dread was a very special moment for me.
Yeah.
I think that the Metroid Dread reveal trailer is uniquely excellent.
Sure, it is very good.
They sort of do this. They do this strange thing in that direct where they're like, "Hey guys, here's a Metroid game."
Yeah.
Which is interesting because it's like, why don't you just not say that? And then I get to like see Samus drop down after the Emmy, and then that'd be like, God damn, wait, that's Samus. I know Samus.
Yeah.
But instead they're like, hey, get ready, it's fucking Samus is showing up.
Yeah.
But I don't really care.
That's actually quite similar, but though not to the same degree. of them being like, hey, and these other Mario characters are also getting
Right.
games. Here's the Peach game.
The Dread trailer is so good for a number of reasons. Because the Dread trailer has 3 distinct
phases.
Or really 4 distinct exciting things.
Sure.
First, or 5 distinct exciting things.
Jesus. Just like Metroid 5. Well, that's one of them.
Yeah. It's us finally seeing Metroid again.
Yeah.
In HD, not Samus Returns, not
horse shit.
Not a PNG for Prime. It's
it was an animated PNG.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
We see that, and then right away they hit us. It's Metroid 5.
Yeah, Metroid 5.
And it's not even a Pikmin 4 situation where the 4 is not an illustration of the narrative continuing.
Yeah.
Metroid 5 was actually a sequel.
Yeah.
So boom, Metroid 5.
Actually, I just realized the teaser, the deflating of the announcement of a giant game is actually quite similar to Pikmin 4. Because they're like, talking about Pikmin Bloom for fucking forever before that.
That's why that was good, though, and I'll talk about it.
Okay.
In hindsight, that's why that is so much fun.
Okay. We'll talk about it in a bit. We're 2 in.
Boom. You see Metroid 5. Oh. Boom. You see gameplay.
Yeah.
And here, what's great about gameplay is like, oh man, this game's got to be close to done.
Yeah. It's fast.
Because you're watching gameplay, like, oh, here it comes. And then they hit you, boom, the big one, which you didn't appreciate at the time.
Dread.
Metroid Dread.
Yeah.
And we're all sitting here going, whoa, they're using Dread. I can't believe they're calling it Dread.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that at the time.
I can't believe they're calling it Dread, and I remember getting so excited that they're calling it Dread. Not as excited as Arlo, but so excited that we're seeing it in its Metroid Dread. That's 4.
Yeah.
5, October 8th.
Yeah,
October 8th.
Very soon.
They were like, not only have you waited since 2004 as Fusion? No, sorry, 2000. No, Fusion came out the same day as Prime.
Yeah.
Zero Mission.
2002.
Yeah, but Zero Mission was I think 2004. I think. I don't remember. The numbers might be wrong. It's too late. Finally, it's back, and you're getting it in like June, July, August, September. You're getting it less than 5 months later.
Yeah.
That was a great trailer. That's a great trailer. It's one of the all-time favorites of mine.
Yeah, definitely. And very special to be able to have that on a video and record it. Like, that's a memory that's enshrined.
We fucked it up, though, because it's running at a bad bit rate, so, like, my reactions are delayed. And we just have you, like, taking notes, because you're you fucking scorekeeper McGee over here. Oh, what was this?
Yeah, I start talking about
Mario Party
in the middle of it.
Tucker. Oh, Tucker, we finally get Metroid, and you're talking about fucking stupid Mario Party. Don't listen, Donkey Kong. I didn't mean that.
There hasn't been a Donkey Kong game announcement. You've never live reacted to a Donkey Kong game.
No, and it'll be a great day when I finally can.
Yeah.
Because I love my boy.
Let's talk about...
I just kissed them on, and this shit's not been washed. So anybody could have fucking been...
Any Tom, Dick, or Harry.
They could have been putting asbestos on this shirt.
You just bought this shirt, though.
They could have been smearing asbestos on it in the store.
Oh, in the store. Oh, sure. Let's go over to Andrew, who talks about. He mentions the Doug Bowser introduction moment, having Bowser on there with a tie.
Yeah.
In between Koizumi and Doug Bowser, pretty funny, great moment. Abby says, seeing the reveal for the Smash Ultimate roster, I was literally running in circles around my house.
I think my.
Have you ever been that excited for anything?
I mean, I've
running around.
I stood up for Prime Remastered. I stood up for Pikmin 1 and 2.
Yeah.
I stood up for all the old games.
Yep.
Oh, the one that did it to me was Animal Crossing.
Oh, sure.
In 2019.
Yeah.
Because the thing about that is it's similar to Pikmin 4 in that they really fuck with you.
Yeah.
There's psychological warfare in the Animal Crossing trailer.
Sure, yeah.
Because you finally see Isabelle. And because you gotta understand, here's what you gotta understand, Tucker.
Okay.
The year is 2015.
Sure.
And you see HD Isabelle.
Yeah.
And you know what HD Isabelle is there for?
Amiibo Festival.
Fucking Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. So you're Abram Beaner in the year of 2019. You're sitting by yourself in your bedroom. And you're thinking, oh my goodness, here's Isabelle. But wait. Isabelle, last time I saw Isabelle in the same situation, she was about to peg me. And not in the way that you would hope.
Yeah. God forbid. But then, real game. Well,
first it's Smash.
Yeah.
And you think, man, I've never hated Smash Brothers as much as I hate Smash Brothers right now. And then they go, no, but wait, there's more. Animal Crossing 2019, but they do it through Tom Nook talking to you in his little sharp sweater vest.
Yeah. And he's talking about, I need to get something set up. Of course, the mayor and Isabel are busy camping and smashing, and we're like, swing! Look at the thing. Oh, what is it? He's naming these other things. What could this mean? It's not camping. It's not smashing.
It's partying.
And then Animal Crossing Amiibo Puzzle 2, and the world rejoiced. But yeah, no, that was a great bit of psychological warfare. Lots of ball tugging with that one.
Pikmin is the other obvious example of this. Just talk to me about it.
That was a bizarre one because not only Pikmin Bloom not a success, and not something that ever marketed directly through.
They're still trying to make it happen.
That kind of.
You can get a costume
because of the demo. Yeah. But not only was Pikmin Bloom not a thing we expected to see in a direct period, but then seeing it in a direct meant, what does this mean? What are they doing? And then they spent a lot of time doing it.
They spent a lot of time doing it.
And it's like a year after the game comes out.
Play the game.
He explains how to play the entire the game. Yeah, which is already not a particularly complicated game, but he draws it out. And then, also this game that was apparently supposed to be done like 10 years ago, is real. And here's a few seconds of footage of it. And Dendori, T-shirt. Have fun.
Amazing.
Bizarre.
In hindsight, amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, they're showing Pikmin Bloom. They showed Pikmin 4. That's what was important. Because in hindsight, Tucker, because I made a supercut of that for our TikTok account, which we're really active on.
Yeah.
And I do like rewatching that because we're sort of going through these phases of anguish as we wonder, what is there light on the other side of the tunnel?
Yeah.
Because it is a long tunnel. It's not one of those tunnels you can hold your breath in as a little contest with your friends.
Sure, yeah.
This is if you hold your breath, you're going to literally die tunnel.
Oh God, yeah.
But you come out of the tunnel and you're seeing Pikmin 4, and now we're less than 2 weeks later in Pikmin 4.
3.
I wish I could have got a Pikmin shirt at
Yeah,
Target.
no, they had a very limited selection of Nintendo stuff. None of the stuff that appealed to me. So I ended up with a Kirby shirt. I kind of like this Kirby shirt. It's kind of like this very pale blue. It actually looks white.
It's kind of minty.
It looks white on this lighting. But it's a pretty good Kirby shirt. I'm okay with it. I wish I liked Kirby more, but
I don't really like this shirt. But I love Donkey Kong. So.
But it's got his ass crack on it.
It does have
and it has a funny face and bananas.
Yeah,
what could be better for a shirt?
My feeling is couldn't possibly wear this in public, but between the Necco wafer yellow, the ass crack, the fact that it is my child Donkey Kong, I'm still pleased with it on some sort of level. But you won't catch me in public in the ass crack Donkey Kong shirt.
Let's jump over to Phil the Pill, who says, my favorite direct moment is the moment it was revealed Breath of the Wild was a Switch launch game with the release date. That trailer was one of the best they've ever done, and then the level of excitement when it was basically locked in that all of Nintendo's efforts were laser focused on the new console. That is obviously an important moment for multiple reasons, but throughout the night of that January 2017 presentation, which to Colin Moriarty's credit was not very fun to watch in the moment. Them stumbling over things, having the fucking FIFA guy up on stage for a little bit, like it was stumbly, it was weird. We didn't really know where things were heading, and also, frankly, it didn't really seem like much was coming together because we knew the launch date was March 3rd, but no games had been announced that day except for 1-2 Switch, and ending the night on Breath of the Wild, and that Breath of the Wild, like the last thing in that entire showcase is March 3rd, 2017.
Yeah.
That solidifies that, okay, things are going to be okay.
Yeah.
But that if you were talking about ball tugging, not having a major game, like showing Mario basically done, for all intents and purposes, like, this is a finished game. Like, we're fine looking at it. And be like, this is fucking holiday. And basically everything's like, okay, well, it's summer for Splatoon. It's like, what the fuck are they going to do? And then, of course, it was Zelda. And so ending it on that moment is just like tugging your balls and then like letting them snap back to your body, but it feels good.
Always feels good.
Always feels good. It's a great moment. And that's a great trailer. I've said it multiple times, but I think it's one of the best trailers of all time. I've said that a number of times tonight. But that's one that I stand by. I stand by it.
Stand by it.
Stand by me. Do you have other ones?
I'm sitting by you.
Do you have other ones? Or we go for a couple more.
Yeah, go for a couple more community. Go for community.
I'll read a little bit of Franz's. He wrote a mini novel here.
If you're the first paragraph, do we get something to talk about?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. My favorite direct announcement would be the reveal of Smash Ultimate. Those reveals were so hype. I specifically skipped classes that morning to watch the initial gameplay reveal, and I don't regret it at all. We got to see a new graphical style, hear the new theme music, see the 60-plus characters, and with all the old roster in one place. It was truly magical, and I swear I rewatched it at least 20 times after that. I definitely think that as well. One more distinct one that he talks about is, I gotta say, there was a Pokemon Direct that revealed X and Y that was on my birthday. Bro, you don't even know how bazonkin that trailer was to me. The fact that the series finally went to 3D, I was popping off. And the bits of gameplay shown in the trailer made my imagination go wild. First game I ever pre-ordered, by the way.
Yeah, I actually think that's the same for me. Actually, I might have pre-ordered New Super Mario Brothers Wii. Wait, what? Yeah, that X and Y trailer was bazonkin. I remember that too.
I didn't think I knew what the internet was.
Yeah.
In like what? It must have been 2012?
Yeah, it's 2012.
Early 2013? I have no fucking clue. I had no concept of that one. But I would have been bazonkin.
You hadn't looked up boobs by 2013?
No, I definitely had. But,
yeah.
And I'm not consider what I was going to say. But yeah, let's see if I have anything else on my list here. Actually, a very interesting one. You were talking about some reveals that Obby said he was running around in circles for Everyone Was Here.
Yeah.
For Smash, you said a couple of those, a couple reveals got you jumping up and around. Only old games, but that's okay. We know we know you. Don't worry.
I gave you Dread.
But hey, I'm gonna give you exact same scenario for me. The most physically elated, physical movement that I ever got out of watching a direct was Katamari Damacy reroll.
Sure.
Katamari Damacy, a game that I had must have recently played at the point in time that reroll was revealed, and just hearing the Katamari theme and seeing the outline of the King of the Cosmos in the headlines thing. I had a couple friends over that day. We were watching it after school, and I stood up on my chair and I yelled. And my friends were excited for Animal Crossing and Luigi's Mansion, and I was like, nah, I don't give a fuck about these.
Yeah.
But I got a major pop out of seeing Katamari in a fucking Nintendo Direct, and that really blew my goddamn mind.
I have another one like that actually.
Sure.
It was Mario Maker 2.
Okay.
Because I've been waiting for Mario Maker 2 for so long.
Yeah.
And I've been speculating about Mario Maker 2 for a long time, back when I used to write for my blog.
Sure.
I think that there was just almost every year I'd write something about how this is the time for Mario Maker. And then finally see it and just know right away, ooh, it's Mario. And then they show slopes.
Yep, slopes were the first thing.
They showed slopes. They're like, hey, brother, we know you want slopes. Here's some slopes. Mm-hmm. That was another very, very fun reveal.
They showed a lot of stuff in that trailer. That's 3D World.
Yeah.
Style.
3D World style.
Yeah.
We also got, that's also the director we got Link's Awakening.
Sure. Astral Chain as well.
Trailer and Astral Chain. Astral Chain is such an interesting game to me. It's a little bit of a tangent, but I remember not knowing if I'd be excited for Astral Chain.
And not knowing if you should be?
Not knowing if I really would be, if I would really enjoy it. And that game, I can when I close my eyes and I see Astral Chain, I also see my first week of college. And meeting Jean and trying to figure out how to fucking operate on my own. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because I don't even really like Astral Chain that much. I've tried to play it several times. I just can't get into it ever. Mm-hmm. But Astral Chain as an idea is so intimately tied to so many other things in my life, which is really interesting.
Yeah. I have those similar memories attached to, lots of 2019 games.
Yeah.
Launcher Sword and Shield.
The Pokemon.
Death Stranding. Yeah. I got I think the first game I ever bought on Amazon, Dragon Quest XI S Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition for Nintendo Switch. I played that game for 6 hours and stopped. And then I was playing Persona 5 at that time. and I'm sure Tanner can attest to how much Persona 5 I was playing.
Yeah.
In our dorm room, but I definitely have those similar like early college memories with a couple of games in 2019.
It's the same with Link's Awakening, because Link's Awakening, because I went to buy a Switch Lite in Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
I didn't need a Switch Lite because I didn't need a Switch Lite, but I wanted a Switch Lite, so I bought a Switch Lite, and I bought a bunch of Amiibo, and I remember playing Link's Awakening. And Link's Awakening was that first big... Link's Awakening was the same day as Goose Game. That was like... Man, it was so funny.
And very close to Daemon X Machina.
It's so funny because, like, I was so, like, life-pilled at that point.
What does that mean?
I was like, oh, the new Zelda game is super cool, but like, I got a girlfriend, and I'm going to school, and how cool is this? And now, if my life being what it is, Zelda takes precedence over all of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But back then, I remember falling asleep playing Zelda, face first on my bed, and being woken up by my roommate with a fucking puddle of drool. I was so tired. It's such a weird. That 2019 Slight has such an interesting that personal connection to me in a very peculiar way. Link's Awakening is a great game.
Yeah,
it's a great game. That's another discussion we should have one time. But like these games that are tied to life moments.
Sure.
And what those life moments are.
Yeah, we covered a few of them here. But of course, there are many more. Another very interesting one. Iconic moment for me on early BLB. One of the first partner showcases, they reveal Control coming to Nintendo Switch via the Cloud Edition. And I'm never going to fucking play the Switch version. Even as soon as it was announced, I knew I wasn't going to play it. Because I'd already beaten and platinum the game at that point. But just the fact that third-party support had gotten so good for Switch that Control, of all things, that Remedy was willing to put in the effort of making some sort of half-assed version to go on Switch, seeing Control. I mean, there's a huge reaction. I uploaded just the reaction to that. I might be the only person on the internet to upload just a Control Switch reaction video.
Probably. And
I was very excited. I made a pretty good thumbnail for that one, too.
Was that when I also got my beloved No More Heroes?
Yes, it was.
That was. Yeah.
That was a good presentation.
They also had Monster Hunter, right? Was that the
I think so. One? I think so.
Starburst is a bustin' game.
What the fuck is he talking about?
I was trying to say Monster Hunter Rise, but I said Starburst.
Starburst. Sure, I can see where that comes from.
Because I was thinking Sunbreak. Starburst Sunbreak.
Oh.
But when I went...
Did you play Sunbreak?
No. Because what I meant to say was Monster Hunter Rise.
Is a bursting game.
But I thought about Starburst.
Oh, gotcha.
Because I was thinking about Sunbreak, but I was saying Monster Hunter Rise.
Jesus. We're getting to the end here, guys. Don't worry. It's wrapping up. One final piece from the community. Sis Scott says, if we're counting announcements in general from Nintendo, Sora from Smash, well, in Smash, but I'll let it slide, is the big one for me. Especially since I had a college friend who also loved Sora and Smash Bros. We watched it like 20 times, getting all the nitty-gritty details and love. I even made a joke the night before with my wife that if it was decided by the ballots from prior, it would be Sora or Goku, with both being hard ones to get. If we're going by directs, the Chrono Cross remaster trailer showing up with new musical arrangements, that was beautiful. Two very specific pulls there, neither of which mean a whole hell of a lot to me. No. But what I love hearing about some of these things from the rest of the audience, of course, there's quite a few overlapping things here. Lots of me reading a comment from the community a little bit after we already talked about the specific things, so fuck me, I guess. But is that there are some of these that I don't share that excitement for.
Yeah.
You mentioning the reveal of Link's Awakening or Mario Maker 2, neither of which got me jonesing. I mean, I think they would now. But actually, there's something I've been thinking about this whole night, talking about it, is what's been so cool about Switch era Directs is I've been able to watch myself grow as a gamer, reflecting on my thoughts on Directs. Is seeing something like Luigi's Mansion or Link's Awakening or Super Mario Maker 2 and not being exciting for them initially, or even Animal Crossing not being excited for it initially, and then getting excited for it,
sure,
because they were showing trailers down the line, and then playing each of these games and loving almost all of them, and then looking back and be like, wow, I didn't like that. Just a few years ago, I wasn't excited for that. And now, when they announce a new Animal Crossing, they play 2 notes and I'll shit my pants. Like, I've changed radically from when I watched that Animal Crossing Switch reveal trailer to now. And that's very cool. Interesting.
Yeah. That is really cool, because it's so different for me, just because these franchises meant more to me longer than it did for you. So wherein you've gotten to like see all these things for the first time, or maybe not for the first time, but connected with them for the first time. I've been able to see all my children come home, and sometimes they come home with like a cocaine habit, right? Like an Animal Crossing, like, oh, my child's back, but they fucked it. They're fucked up. You know what I mean? But then sometimes they come back and they're living a great life. Yeah. You know, they got a house and they got kids. There's a little fence out front, and they're making a lot of money and investing in stocks, and they're going to Bahamas. And that's like Metroid Dread or Pikmin 4. Sure. You know?
Yeah. And there's actually another one of those games that's doing real well for itself and that you love. A game that you and I reacted to together. I think it might be the video game trailer reaction that the two of us, when watching it, were both the most excited for simultaneously. Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
Oh, yes, of course. Great moment. Thank you for remembering.
Having a trailer that was kind of half leaked beforehand because someone had said a Kirby game is being revealed.
And Bayonetta.
But it was just the name, I believe. It was Kirby and the Forgotten Land, so we didn't know what that meant. And you and I sitting there and watching this trailer with our fingers crossed and our hands clasped in prayer. Please be 3D. Please be 3D. Please be 3D. And then having it be 3D and having there be this incredible visual style and looking like it was taking the series forward in really exciting ways, and then coming so early next year. Damn. You and I got such a huge goddamn pop out of that.
Where did that come from?
How?
No, the word pop.
What? What do you mean?
I feel like I never heard anybody refer to reacting to something as being a pop until recently, and now everybody's saying it.
I don't know. I feel like it's been a thing for a while.
Well, you're also more ingrained in this part of the community than I am.
This culture, yeah.
So I might be wrong about that, but I've been hearing people use this word pop recently. I think it's a new idea.
Sure, possibly. Certainly possible.
But you know better than I do, so I'll defer to you. But the Kirby one was great, because that's like your kid's been fighting in Iraq. And you're like, I don't know if they're even going to come back.
Jesus Christ.
And if they come, and here's the thing, if they come back, I think it'll be changed.
Yeah.
They were just the same. And they came back with like the fucking Purple Heart Medal of Valor. They went and shook hands with the president, and then it was Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
Absolutely.
What a wonderful game.
It's a great goddamn game. And Abram, might mean we're going to get another 3D Kirby soon.
Yeah, we're gonna get the Robobot to the Triple Deluxe.
God, don't even get me fucking started.
The Robobot is a much better game than Kirby Triple Deluxe.
It's true.
Any other things you want to shout out?
One for you. Splatoon 3.
Yes. Kitty, you got stuff on you. Got a cat here.
Yeah.
What are your favorite Direct memories?
No, she's never seen a Nintendo Direct. She's seen me play some Nintendo games, but never seen Nintendo Direct. Ow! Fuck.
Yeah, Splatoon 3 was a really fun one, because I thought there's no way this is going to be Splatoon 3.
Yeah.
Then it was.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy?
It literally is in our video. But then you say, it's got to be Splatoon 3. It's got to be Splatoon 3. And boom, the Splatoon 3 logo goes and goes.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think I've ever seen that excited for anything. I've never seen him happier.
Yeah.
Splatoon 3's announcement. And that was a great game, too.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
It still is a great game.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Still never played Table Turf War.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll give that a try. It's not very good. Don't really understand it. Probably never tried again. What if we end up making a video in like 5 years about like only table turf tennis?
Today, let's see. Today is July 9th. Okay?
Yeah.
July 9th, 2023.
Sure.
On July 9th, 2028.
Sure.
We will make a table turf video.
Okay, all right. Put it in the books, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, Abby,
set
you'll be like 40 at that point, Abby. But I still expect you to be our loyal intern.
Set an alarm.
Set an alarm, people.
5 years from now.
Your phones are going to be going off in like a dark drawer. You're going to be like living in your old folks' retirement home at that point. It's my plan, at least.
One final question for you, Tucker.
Okay. Don't chew the cord,
chew
fucker.
my cord, please. Oh, there's actually two things I want to say.
Okay.
The first is a Nintendo reveal that wasn't a Nintendo Direct.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
It wasn't a Nintendo show at all. It was a Ubisoft show.
Starlink.
Starlink. I don't like Starlink very much. I hate to say it. I don't think it's very fun. However,
I still have an unopened copy of Starlink in the box.
That's true.
I got that for $5.
I got it digitally.
That's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Kind of defeats the purpose of the game, to be honest.
Although that's also one of the nice things about it, because like if you want to go play, because I know you've been trying to play Skylanders Swap Force.
Every day.
And you need a specific portal for Skylanders Swap Force. You need the different Skylanders Swap Force figures. You just buy Starlink and you get it in pack.
Yeah, that's true.
But it was a Ubisoft Direct, and you just hear it before you see it. You hear you hear Star Fox speak, and and I freaked out.
Yeah.
I was like, it's fucking Star Fox.
Holy shit, there's a reason to watch a Ubisoft
How is this happening? But it was Star Fox. So I want to shut that up. That was super exciting for me. I remember the chair in my house I was sitting when that happened. But my final question...
Was there any bodily products on that chair after that?
Cum, shit, piss, blood, vomit,
all the
saliva,
highlights. All the
sweat,
highlights. Classic.
Earwax.
Earwax.
Final question for you.
Yes.
What is left?
Damn, that's... Whoa, Jesus Christ.
What is... Because we're getting to... The Switch is getting up there in years. Are there any... Because I haven't answered this question. Because sometimes the best direct reactions come because something's been fucking percolating and percolating. You've been waiting for it. Part of why Pikmin and Metroid Dread were so exciting for me is because I'd been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Are you waiting on anything? Is there going to be that, to use this new terminology that's only invented the last couple of weeks, what's the big pop? Is there a big pop on the horizon for you?
What's interesting is for really the first time in the Switch's life cycle, we only have one unicorn game, which is Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah.
It's the only game that is not officially announced, and frankly, releasing this year, that we know is coming, that we've never seen anything from. There's not really rumors for other games. The Donkey Kong game, I guess, from like the 3D Mario team, but otherwise, most teams have said their piece on the Switch.
Yeah.
And I think with all the series that I've gotten to know over these last few years with these Nintendo Directs, and the games that I've been able to enjoy, and the reintroductions to series, and the repopularization of so many series with the Switch, and through these Directs, getting them to have pretty consistent hype cycles, and usually have really goddamn good trailers that first time. I think I'm just most excited to move on to the next phase where anything is possible, because at the moment with the Switch, not much is possible.
We just get 2D Mario though.
We are, no, absolutely, but I think that was kind of one of the last horizons to cross.
Sure.
But as soon as we hit that threshold of a next generation, the clock restarts, and the clock has restarted on a number of things. You're like, okay, what's Level 5 working on? What's the next Monolith Soft game?
Yeah.
But I think that the next generation is going to be maybe even more exciting for me, because with, as I was mentioning, all these franchises that I wasn't excited for when they were revealed, I now have reverence for and connection to. And so there are probably 4 or 5 times as many series that I will get excited for reveals for now that now that I like them, and that new games from those series will be possible on the next system, because it's just unlikely for us to get many more revisitations of franchises or genres that we've already gotten. I think a couple for me that I will be ecstatic for is that next 3D Kirby, as we mentioned.
Yeah.
Seeing what HAL can do now that they have that engine set and they've learned to work in 3D for the first goddamn time. Monolith Soft's new IP that's been percolating. That's something that they've been working on in the background for a long time. Yeah. That'll be really exciting, because they've really, since they've worked at Nintendo, never done a new IP. It's just been Xenoblade stuff. There's one more that I was going to think about. Of course, 3D Mario.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never had a chance to record a reaction to a 3D Mario game because there's only been one since I've watched Nintendo Directs. The next 3D Mario game will be that might be one of the biggest things in my life. The biggest reveals of my life. So that I think is actually the key one for me. Of like probably coming reasonably soon, not in like 5 years. And being incredibly exciting. And it's fireworks. Happy 9th of July.
Happy 9th of July. Obviously, Tucker Donkey Kong is... At this point, the sort of preeminent desire in my mind in terms of new announcements is Donkey Kong. But then the other one, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And it's Star Fox.
Sure.
I don't know if it's... I don't even predict Star Fox anymore. I don't even hope-dict, as the kids say, Star Fox. Because I honestly don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know what the vibes across the bar are for Star Fox at the moment. But if we do see a new Star Fox game, I'll be ecstatic.
Really?
I don't think there's anything other than those two right now.
Sure.
That would get me like that. And frankly, both of those for me would be bigger than 2D or bigger than 3D Mario.
Yeah. Because they've also been much longer than
not necessarily that those games would be better than a new 3D Mario, because I don't think that much is better than 3D Mario. But like, whereas you're waiting to now revisit these things that you've come to love, I'm still waiting for the last couple children I put out Amber Alerts for to be found.
That's actually a very interesting point. Those are ostensibly the only series that really haven't gotten that Switch revisit. Of course, there are other key examples of dead franchises: Punch Out, Kid Icarus, F-Zero,
and Rhythm Heaven, and
but those are the two that are like maybe most likely to be revisited.
I don't.
But the reason I bring that up is because I haven't lived through the announcement, or I've lived through plenty. I haven't culturally lived through the reveal of an announcement cycle and intrigue and what is this and what is that of a Star Fox or a Donkey Kong game. And so the next games that happen, those will be how I'm excited, I'm interested. It's not a franchise that I have a connection to, but I'll be playing it when it comes out, and I'll be following the information. So check back with me on this topic in about 12 years. And we'll be on the Donkey Kong game after the next Donkey Kong game, and then I'll be equally excited as you are. Because Tropical Freeze is a pretty good game, but like I'm not shit my pants waiting for the next Donkey Kong game because I don't have one that's like I gotta get a Donkey Kong game. It's just I'm not quite there yet, but I will be. 12 years. 12 years
of Donkey Kong fan.
Yeah. That's you.
Does it look like I'm wearing a kimono right now?
No.
Okay.
Maybe. It's very flowy.
Yeah.
It's kind of like bunching up around the... Oh, spit all on my face. Bunching up around the corners here.
They're smoking out Cranky Kong. That's the thing.
Jesus.
They're throwing tear gas canisters into the fucking Cabana house right now.
Why?
Because he has to come out eventually. There's no shot.
Good for him. Happy Pride.
Star Fox.
Oh, you know what's an interesting thing?
Yeah.
I will scream bloody murder if a Dr. Mario game gets announced. And I'll be the only one.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple other hyper-specific things in Directs I'd freak out for.
Sure.
The number one for me right now, and this to me is both so likely and so... it'd be too good to be true.
Yeah.
Would be Star Wars Battlefront 2, the 2005 game on Switch. Tucker, I would genuinely lose my mind to a magnitude equivalent to Metroid Dread or Pikmin 4 if that happened. Because that would mean that all of my favorite games that would be humanly possible to come to Switch would be on Switch. The only other one, and I actually don't even think that this is totally impossible, because they're trying to beat a fucking antitrust case right now. If Halo 3, if Halo Master Chief Collection made its way to Switch, which I believe the long-standing reports that at one point in time Master Chief Collection is supposed to come to PlayStation 4. And if Phil wants to beat the allegations, he wants to get the fucking FTC on his side.
Phil the pill.
I will personally advocate for the the harmful consolidation of the games industry if it means I get Halo 3 on Switch. But Sin and Punishment would be nice as well.
That'd be crazy. Who? Treasure's dead, right?
So Treasure came out of the woodwork to re-release Ikaruga.
Oh. So it's like 3 guys in a closet?
I don't really know. Can
they make a new game?
No, it would have to. The license would have to be given to somebody else.
Wait, isn't Sin and Punishment already on N64 Online?
Yeah, but I want a new Sin and Punishment game.
Oh, sure. Okay, so these 3 guys in the closet would have to sell it to someone else.
Oh,
they have to work
they might not even own
farm to Ilka or whatever.
Yeah, I mean they might not even own the IP. Nintendo might own the IP. Don't shoot the messenger. Ilka, thankfully, definitely does not own the Sin and Punishment IP.
They shouldn't own anything. They shouldn't even have a business.
They should own...
I don't wish them well. I know people are always like, oh, the developers try their hardest. It's the publisher's problem. I don't wish Ilka well. I hope they have a bad day tomorrow.
Aren't they making the Sandlot game?
What the fuck?